In the annals of British military history, few operations began with such high hopes and ended in such costly failure as the deployment of the 1st Airborne Division at Arnhem. Codenamed Operation Market Garden, the ambitious plan in September 1944 aimed to secure a series of bridges in the Netherlands, culminating at Arnhem over the Lower Rhine, to outflank the German Siegfried Line and end the war by Christmas. The British 1st Airborne Division, alongside the Polish 1st Independent Parachute Brigade, was tasked with capturing the bridge at Arnhem, the furthest and most critical objective. On Sunday, September 17th, over 10,000 airborne troops descended from the skies or landed in gliders, such as the Horsa, which could carry 28 men, or a jeep and a 6-pounder anti-tank gun. The operation was compromised from the outset. Intelligence warnings of nearby German armor, specifically the refitting 9th and 10th SS Panzer divisions, were tragically discounted. The landing zones were placed 8 miles from the bridge due to anti-aircraft concerns, forcing a long, vulnerable approach march. Only a small force, like Colonel Frost's battalion, reached the northern end of the bridge. The bulk of the division became bogged down in the suburbs of Oosterbeek against unexpectedly fierce resistance. German 20mm Flak-Vierling anti-aircraft guns shredded the lightly armed paratroopers in the streets, while Panzer IV and Panther tanks, with their high-velocity 75mm guns, dominated the open areas. The British 6-pounder anti-tank guns, effective at close range, were too few. Resupply drops by RAF Sterlings and Dakotas, flying at 1,500 feet, fell largely into German hands as the perimeter shrank. For 9 days, the division held a shrinking, beleaguered perimeter around Oosterbeek, its back to the Rhine. Casualties mounted under constant mortar and artillery fire. A relief attempt by the British XX Corps ground forces was delayed on the single, exposed highway, famously a bridge too far. Finally, on the night of September 25th, Operation Berlin was launched, a desperate evacuation across the river. Under cover of darkness and smoke, using storm boats and rafts, some 2,400 exhausted survivors were ferried to safety by engineers of the 43rd Wessex Division. Over 1,500 men had been killed and more than 6,500 captured, wounded, or missing. The strategic aftermath was a severe setback. The Allies failed to secure a bridgehead over the Rhine, prolonging the war in northwest Europe through a brutal winter. The 1st Airborne Division, Britain's premier airborne formation, ceased to exist as a fighting unit. Yet, from the catastrophe emerged a powerful legacy of endurance. The stubborn defense at Oosterbeek and the legendary stand at the bridge itself became synonymous with courage in the